scenaristes Alexandru, Baciu, Razvan, Radulescu, le directeur de la photographie, Ilona, Brezoianu, Popistasu, réalisateur Radu Muntean. Il y aura une rencontre à l'issue de la projection, un Q&A, donc voilà, il y aura la possibilité d'échanger avec l'équipe, mais Radu, quelques mots pour nous présenter ton film.
There will be a Q&A after the screening, but first, Radu, a few words to introduce the film.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here. It's my second time. First one it was in 2008. So we're really proud of what we did 9 months ago in the muddy roads of Întregalde village, a remote village in Romania. I must say that we are, our team is a little bit bigger. We have also Oana, Iancu, the producer. Andu, the editor and colorist. Very elegant, yes. And Radu, the sound engineer. From Corsica. Yeah, so there it is. We can't do anything more for the movie. It has its own life from now. I hope you enjoy the screen.
Thank you for this adventurous and surprising film. How did you get to know this village of Întregalde, and how did you work with your co-writers on this adventure, this humanitarian trip, which turned into something really totally different?
Well, I had this idea since I think 11 years ago, when I heard about these trips, humanitarian trips made by these 4x4 enthusiasts. So the first scouting that I was in with Alex Baciu and Razvan, Radulescu, the co-writers. So we were in Întregalde. That was the first place. Of course, they usually go in a lot of places, but this was our first one, and we really liked the place. Actually, to be honest, in the end, we didn't shoot at Întregalde. We shot at Rumeț, which is the next village. But some of the scenes and actually the place where the car gets stuck, it's in between Întregalde and Rumeț. But so we started to work on the script with Razvan and Alex. This is our sixth film together. We tried to make a story at the beginning. We didn't manage to do this at the first time, and then we went in the second scouting, and after some time we finally had our story ready.
What drew you to these questions of generosity, empathy, and altruism, and the limits of these qualities, when we realized that the people who help others don't really know about those people?
Yeah, for me it's intriguing. I didn't want to judge any of my characters. I usually don't want to do this, and we didn't want when we wrote the script for this film. It was just intriguing from the first moment that I heard about these expeditions. I didn't know exactly. I think it was a good starting point to test to talk about the limits of generosity. You know, if you are only generous when you're good and everything it's good around you, and when your life is in danger, you're the same. And how much in this equation it's the you want to feel good about yourself, or you want to really help these guys. You help them once a year, and then you forget about them for 5 years. All these questions, I think, they were at the starting point of the film when we started to build the story. And I still think the starting point, the plot, it's intriguing.
So how did you react when you read the script? And how was the shoot presented to you by Radu at first, and how did it go? Was it as chaotic and muddy as the film itself?
Well, I guess I was a bit more familiar with the script before reading it, because I'm married to one of the co-writers. So I kind of had the idea, I kind of knew what the story was about. I did not expect to be one of the lead parts, actually, when I first read the script, the first version. I thought I was going to be one of the ladies of the country. No, but do you remember the Maria was younger?
Yeah.
Well, whatever. And from the moment I know they were writing it, I was very intrigued by this idea that it's actually easier to be generous when it's comfortable, and generosity kind of fades when it's difficult to, perform. So I think it was touching and strange to kind of launch myself in this adventure and to explore this theme. And also I think it's the shooting was very well planned, but it's always hard with nature because nature actually fights back. And Radu prepared it very well, and he did. He's always doing a lot of homework before shooting, so we kind of knew exactly what we did. We rehearsed a lot in Bucharest, and then we had another week or 10 days in location. So it was very intense during shooting. It was during the third wave of COVID or something like that. So we all tested ourselves and went to this remote village in Transylvania where it was just a crew in, I don't know, spread around 10 kilometers in villagers' houses and stuff. So, and it was actually a little oasis of, we felt normal again while we were listening to the news and knew that everything was exploding in the major cities. But it was very fun and very intense.
For me, when I read for the first time the script, I was like, it will be very hard. So I was afraid, but excited at the same time, because it's my first leading role in a long movie. So it was a little more pressure than Maria and Alex. And for Alex, it was the same, I think. Yes, the first leading role in a long movie. So I was afraid by some scenes in the movie that you saw it are a little bit harder. Was it bigger? But it was a nice experience overall. So hard, but I'm proud of it, yes.
Original actor who was in the film, and how did it go?
Well, I knew from the beginning that this is going to be the hardest part, because this character, Kent, is quite important in the movie, and I knew that it could not be an actor. I really wanted something really special from that place to be very authentic. So I was just lucky, really. I mean, we were in a location scouting, and we just met this guy who was going to the church to mow the lawn, to cut the grass there. And I said, "You want to play in a movie?" I thought he was perfect. He looked a little bit strange, but he was really fit, and he could think, he could speak, he could react, and he was happy to take part of the film. Now it was really risky. It was really risky because when you have actors, you always have a contract. They know they have to stick with it. But with the local guy, you don't know him. He could have said, "Okay, it's enough for me. From now on, I'm going home." But it was really a pleasure working with this guy. And we were that lucky. This guy had the same job as the character, so. A lot of stuff, a lot of the dialogue that it's in the movie, they are actually his stories. He told me the stories, and I inserted them in the script just before the shooting. And of course, some of the parts I talked with him while acting with some very small headpiece. But it's, I mean, it's really not easy to do this. Actually, you have to train a little bit, and he was really responsive. And of course, I was also lucky with the professional actors, with Maria, Ilona, and Alex. They made him feel like part of the team. So first, there were two parts of the casting. The usual normal part of the casting, which meant casting professional actors. Of course, from the moment that we wrote the script, we had these ladies in mind, but they had to do some tests as well. So that's the normal way, and the unconventional, risky way of finding local people for the rest of the parts that involved the local people in the movie. By the way, the local guys went into the shooting atmosphere. I mean, at first they were a little bit shy, but little by little they tried to understand. I was able to talk with them while looking at the take in front of the monitor. So little by little I was starting to work with them as with almost professional actors, while they maintain, of course, their authenticity.
The character of Kente, how did you build this character? What were your inspirations? He is very representative of that countryside, of that part of Romania, and also the lady at the end. So did you write him in the script very precisely at the beginning, or was it while doing the location scouting that he came together?
Well, it was written, of course, quite precisely before we went to the shooting, but a lot of things changed because of Luca Sabin, the guy who played Ken. So in the end, it was a mix between what we had from the start. We had his structure quite precise in our mind and in the script, but the stories, the biography, which I think it's the most important thing that came through our collaboration with Luca Sabin, it's the way this guy became more alive. He had a life, he had a biography, he had something to relate to, which was not completely in the script, but this is the beauty of it, the way the film surprises you in the end, even if you are well prepared.
These special difficulties, both cast and crew, shooting in the weather conditions that we see in the film with a lot of snow, and shooting in that same place for a long time. How was it?
First I want to say that we didn't want snow in the beginning. This was a surprise for us. So in one moment we woke up like characters in the film and it was all white, and we had to deal with it, but in the end we tried to make the most of the situation, and I think it was better for the film. The way the nature reacts, even if you don't expect it. Other than that, yes, it was cold, it was muddy, I don't know. I let the ladies explain.
It's cold, so we have people helping us not to be cold, and with our teas, and we rub our shoulders, and we hope it's gonna go on quickly, but it's nothing more adventurous than that. I mean, we didn't have like massive accidents, everything went well and smooth. But in difficult conditions.
Derek from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.